where you have divergent values, divergent cultures and traditions welded together into a nation, is a lie. There is something written in the Times newspaper, and I want this thing to be published, please. I want it to be published tonight, immediately. I want it published on my page. I want people to understand a letter that was written in the Times of London, July 15, 1998. I repeat, the Times of London, Wednesday, July 15, 1998. Let me read it for you. It was written by a white man. You understand? Written by a white man. His name is Peter Smithers. Peter, P-E-T-E-R, as you have Peter. Smithers is S-M-I-T-H-E-R-S. He wrote it. He was writing to the British government. He's a white man, he's British. As I said before, the British people are very conscientious people. An average Briton is a nice human being. An average Englishman, an average Scottish man, an average Welshman, an average Irishman, they are wonderful, beautiful people. But once you take them away from the streets of London, or Belfast, or Glasgow, or Edinburgh, as the case may be, or Cardiff, and you put them in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, dealing with colonial matters or dealing with Africa, they turn into beasts, they turn into monsters. I don't know why. Somebody wrote a letter. It's called the Nigerian Lesson. This is in the Times of London. As I repeat, Times of London, Wednesday, July 15, 1998. Somebody kindly sent it to me, and I'll read it so that the whole world may hear. This is from Sir Peter Smithers. He's a knight of the realm. The proper sir, not the sir you have in the zoo. Only the come up with a chair knight, you know. These are the proper, these are the knights of the realm of the British Empire. Now listen. Sir, I'm now reading verbatim the letter written by Sir Peter Smithers to the Times newspaper of London. Listen, sir. During the negotiations for the independence of Nigeria, the view of the Secretary of State at that time, with which I agreed, was that in Nigeria, we should attempt to put together a large and powerful state with ample material resources, which will play a leading part in the affairs of the continent and of the world. This was attractive, but it involved forcing several different ethnic and cultural groups into a single political structure. The negotiations were complex and very difficult. The chief problem, as I recall or I remember, relating significantly to the control of the police and of the military. Listen carefully, please. In the retrospect of 40 years, it is clear that this was a grave mistake, which has cost many lives and will probably continue to do so. It would have been better to establish several smaller states in a free trade area. Even some British people realized after 40 years of failed experiment called Nigeria. Sir Peter Smithers, who worked in the zoo colonial desk, he is writing, we wanted to build a country that is so big that we can control, more or less. And that very big country, our problem then was who to give the police and the army to. And they gave it to Fulani. The man is now saying, with hindsight, after 40 years, many people, he wrote this thing in 1998, not 2020, 1998. This white man knew that Fulanis were using army and police to kill people in 1998. He said, after 40 years of this experiment called Zoo, Nigeria, that they created, that it is a mistake. White man is a mistake. Now, he said, we should have gone for small states. Now, this goes back to Aburi conference. Our people should be able to reason. This was the reason why Britain said no to Aburi. Because Aburi was about confederation. Ojukwu went to Aburi, agreed confederation, came back home in Enugu, and go and launch the war instead of implementing that aburi that would have allowed smaller nations to emerge, but in a free trade zone called Nigeria. Gowon said no because British told him to say no. Because Britain wanted a large country that has influence in Africa that they can control, but to achieve that control, they needed to place the military and the police in the hands of the Janjaweed, Fulani, Miyetiala. And that was what they did. And that is why we are suffering till today. This man said people are dying. Let me continue. In exculpation, it must be said that we did not then have the examples of the collapse of Yugoslavia and of Soviet Union before our eyes. In other words, the man is saying that Nigeria, the zoo you have, Nigeria to some of you, is the same thing as Yugoslavia, the same thing as Soviet Union. And it is bound to collapse. That is what this man is lamenting in 1998. He is saying, we did not have the benefit of the collapse of Soviet Union or Yugoslavia to tell us what to do in the case of the animals in the zoo, Nigeria. Are you listening? This is from a British man, a high-ranking officer. He is a sir, he's a knight of the realm, Sir Peter Smithers. I will continue. It should now be clear for all, but the willfully blind. This is how intelligent this man is saying. It is clear to everybody, to both cockroach and rat, okay, Mochicha, everybody knows it is clear, unless you're living in denial, unless you are a denier of the truth, unless you are foolish. This is from a white man, please, not me. Unless you are willfully blind to see that it is extremely dangerous to force diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure such as that which is being built upon the foundation of the Maastricht Treaty. This man was saying the reason why Britain left the EU, the reason why Britain opposed, some of you don't know what is Maastricht Treaty, but I will tell you some other day. It was a treaty of European Union that Britain refused to sign. This man is saying the same mistakes of the past we are about to repeat. What is that mistake? To willfully join together. He said it is extremely dangerous. A white man is saying is that Nigeria as it exists today, Nigeria, is extremely dangerous because you are forcing diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure that is unsustainable. Now, recent history, according to this man, Peter Smithers, sir, of course, he's a knight of the realm. Recent history suggests that it would be best to complete the development of the common market and to call a halt to political integration in Europe. These are the people of Brexit. They don't want Britain to be a part of one big political superstructure. The man is saying the same thing we built in Nigeria that is costing lives. And who is this man that wrote this? He said, I am, sir, your obedient servant, Sir Peter Smithers. Listen to his title. Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Minister of State and the Secretary of State in the Colonial Office from 1952 to 1959. And he lives in Vico Makote in Switzerland. Are you listening? These are people that knew that putting a country together, people of diverse social backgrounds. In Igbo land, am I the same thing with a Fulani man? The answer is no. I am related to Efik, to Ibibu. I'm related to Asian, as they call it, Upiaja. I am related to Igoromiko, the people who are there. I have relationship with Urobo. I know I can relate to Isoko culture. I can relate to Ishekiri culture. But can I relate to Fulani culture? The answer is no. Maybe even to an extent, I can relate to Yoruba culture, Yoruba culture, to an extent. But do you think I can ever relate to Fulani culture? Of course the answer is no. Because Fulani runs a feudal system, a rank-added system, where one big man stays at the top and gives you tea in the morning and asks you to go and stone somebody and you can do it. That's what they do. Do you see the difference between an egalitarian society and one that is so structured that order will come from the emir or from the sadiki or whoever? We are not like that. That is not democracy. And that value system was what the Fulanis brought to Asorok. These are the things that your so-called social scientists and your political analysts don't understand. What is playing out in Asorok today is the same Janjaweed feudal system, where one person stays at the top and just keeps distributing money that they did not work for. Money that they didn't earn. That is what is happening in the zoo. That same thing was what they brought to the center in Asorok, and some of you are too blind to see it. When we tell you that the zoo, Nigeria, is unworkable, try to understand there is no nation on this earth where you have divergent values, divergent cultures and traditions.
We saw that other people was allowed inside the court.
For freedom taking longer, and cause of that you tend to feel so low. I know our freedom is your greatest hunger. I thought of Biafra keeps your heart aglow. We will walk the line, this hell that we've known with time. Gotta take it away. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your fire's just a step away. Just hold on. Oh, hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. touch the skies and set up a throne on high and reign without God. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your flight's just a step away. Just hold on. Hold on.
Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved homeland.
All right. Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you and welcome you to this program. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join wherever you are watching from. If you are watching on YouTube at Judge Money Blog, share the video, invite others to join. If you are watching on Facebook at Judge Money, share the video, invite others to join. Those who are watching on Twitter, I hope that our topic is updated on Twitter. So share the video, invite others to join. Very, very important. We are going to have a very brief one again this time. It is 26 minutes on top of the hour. If you are in Biafra land, it is 26 minutes past 5 o'clock in Biafra land, the land of Elohim, where there is 0 latitude and 0 longitude. It is important that we come here to make sure we preach this gospel, that our people may start thinking freedom, our people may emancipate themselves from mental slavery, because it is the biggest weapon the enemy used against us. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra, of course, you have seen what we are going to be talking about this morning, afternoon, and night, depending on your time zone. First one was the Nigeria government admit that the Igbos were asked to come down from buses in Sudan, say it wasn't deliberate. Okay. That is the first topic we are going to talk about. They say it wasn't deliberate, but we are going to find out whether it is deliberate or not. Now, the next one is the demolition of the houses in Lagos State. I came with the video where people houses are being demolished in Lagos. So, and secondly, the third one is the Prince Charles III upcoming coronation annual message that we have to send to him, before, his coronation, so that they will know our stance as well. So the other one is why Yoruba language must not die. So all these things, then the last but not the least, it is about Ekweremmadu's jail time. So very, very important. Share the video, invite others to join. If you find out we are stable, we might bring more people into this program. If we are stable, we bring more people into the program on Facebook. But if we are not, we will leave it to whichever one the algorithm give us. Of course, we are not talking to algorithm, we are talking to our people. So it is very, very important. First of all, before we proceed, there are things that I need to touch on. Those things that I need to touch on, number one of them is the death of pastor in Kenya. The death of pastor in Kenya. Of course, I don't know, so many of you might be aware of the pastor who died in Kenya. And the reason why this pastor died in Kenya is because he is in a cult where they fast to death, or they fast like Jesus Christ as they believe, because most of the time we are not understanding. That is the reason why they use Bible as a weapon against us. Using Bible as the biggest weapon against us. That's why many people are being stupid. People are even running mad. People are more Christian than the inventor of Christianity, or by the Pope, more than the Pope. That is the reason why a pastor, and there are people in Kenya. In Kenya, a pastor in Kenya who died starving himself. And it is, according to the report, it says that is a cult. It is a cult which they call church. Now everybody involved in such group has been tagged terrorist, or the leaders of this group in this church has been tagged terrorist. Let me read it before we bring the analysis. A Kenyan pastor to face terrorism charges over starvation caused death. The deeply religious Christian majority country has been stunned by the discovery of mass graves last month in a forest near Indian Ocean coastal town of Malindi. Are you paying attention? Mass grave. Let me read. Why is it not scrolling? Then, you might be hearing noises coming out from the school children. So, then it says Malinda, Kenya. Malinda, Kenya, a Kenyan pastor who appeared in court on Tuesday, will face terrorism charges over the death of more than 100 people found buried in what has been dubbed the Shakahola Forest Massacre. Prosecutors said the deeply religious Christian majority country has been stunned by the discovery of mass graves last month in the forest near the Indian Ocean coastal town of Malindi. Self-proclaimed Pastor Paul Ntenge Mackenzie, who set up the Good News International Church in 2003, is accused of inciting followers to starve to death to meet Jesus. To meet who? Jesus. To starve to death to meet Jesus. Appeared in the dock in Malindi. This is where I am going to, I don't want to stretch it. This is exactly the reason why we keep telling people that the issue of religion is a very, very broad issue, and the teaching of it is very, very crucial. Let me try to bring more people. Teaching of it is very, very crucial, because not everybody understands that the teaching that is in the Bible that you read every day. That is the reason why somebody will wake up from wherever they are, and they will advise you, you should go and do this, you should go and do that. Then because you are so foolish, you allow somebody who is, allow other people to do the thinking that you're supposed to do by yourself. That is exactly the reason why you find something like this happening in Africa. That is the reason why the white people will continue to call you a black monkey. To call you a monkey. A pastor, for a pastor to tell people to starve to death. Even the current Kenya president was indicted in this matter. Kenya president, William Ruto. He was indicted in this matter. I don't know why, but they indicted him. They claim he is part of this religious group. So it is very, very important for our people to understand. These things we call, religious belief, Christianity, don't be so fanatical about it. Because these people are preaching to you things, most of the time, things that will send you to your early grave. Things that will make you to be impoverished all your life. That is the reason why Pastor told people to starve themselves to death in order to see Jesus. In order to see Jesus. A white man with blue eyes, with Akomo guy. You starve yourself to death, then you will automatically see the white guy. That is exactly the reason why you found these people dead. Shallow grave, buried more than 100 people that have starved themselves to death in order, hoping that they will see Jesus at some point. Now, having seen all that, what do you think about people who are explaining, reading this Bible for you? Have you now seen the reason why an English person said, if you want to hide something, you hide it in a book for a black man. They will never find it because you don't want to read. You want to be dependent. You want to watch movies for people to be speaking that you may be digesting. Why don't you read to get the real story, to get the real teaching, instead of making yourself so lazy that other people need to read for you? Religious fanatics, I am talking to you. Like I told you to watch Gold Mafia episode 4. I saw that on YouTube. You will see pastors. When you see pastors, you see pastors that the great pastors. You see their activities there in Gold Mafia. The reason why I will continue to talk about these things, it is very, very important in our struggle, because it is when we get Biafra, everybody must be up and running. It is not, we're not going to get a Biafra where we advise people to go and be sleeping in church or to go and be doing things that will place other people's lives in danger, or people like who will go and use in the name of God to go and exploit people. Because at the last day, that's why it is said, judgment shall start from that house, which you call the house of God. At the last day, judgment will start from there. Go and read your Bible. Don't allow others to read it for you and explain it the way it will favor them. Some people will say that the Bible say give it all. Then they will tell you it is giving it all your money. Those are a bunch of hyenas all over the place. It is important for you to, make research before you digest any information, that who be it but Daddy G.O., be it your mushroom pastor, be it your kitchen pastor, whoever that is telling you, make a very deep research, in-depth research, before you believe anything they are telling you. Because all they tell you, it is some of them, it is now discovered that this pastor, this church we are talking about, it is an occultic church. Occultic church. Now, when people probably are dying in such church, maybe he is using these people as sacrifice in their occult. But that is a church. Who do you believe in? Myself, I put my faith in God. And at the end of the day, I pray to God. I read my Bible. I understand it. I don't wait for anybody to read it for me. I do the laws that is written in that Bible. But so many of you who believe that Someone must read this Bible for you before you will agree to what is written there. I can tell you now to change your ways, because those who are reading it for you, you are more holier than them. Very, very absolutely holier than them. If they open the cinema of these people's secrecy, some of them you will stone them to death. It is not long ago people were eating grass in the name that pastor commanded them to eat somewhere in Africa. It is not long ago prophet of doom who used doom. There is something called doom. Doom is for mosquitoes. What is it? What is that thing you have in Nigeria for me to explain what doom is? Doom is this mosquito chemical. What do you call the Nigeria one? Is it the Bagon or Bagon? The one you spray for mosquito and cockroach. Somebody use it and they will spraying it in people's eyes, mouth, everywhere, telling them it is deliverance. This is all about what this Christianity given to us by colonialists is doing to our people. The people who gave you such thing will be one side smiling at you because you are being stupid. You champion it more than the people who are doing it, who introduced it. Have you asked about your ancestors, but you want to believe in the ancestors of other nations? Your ancestors are called evil, but ancestors of the Europeans are the ones you worship and pray to every day in the name of Jesus. Your ancestor is Christ. He is not Jesus. Jesus is the white guy with blue eyes they use in the movie. That all these pastors who have shallow understanding of whom God is placed in their churches, that is the one you see. It's very, very important that you begin to trace your way back to your root, because you will be that sheep without a shepherd that got lost. That is exactly what you are going to be if you don't retract your step in the way that you are promoting this religion that is not created by yourself, your ancestors, or anybody you know. I'm not advising you to relinquish your belief, but use your brain. Do the needful. Do the due diligence. That is a human being, characteristics of human being. You know, sometimes I don't doubt Thomas, who said that seeing is believing. In this era is the era of seeing is believing. It is not about someone telling you you must have faith, it will happen. There is no such thing like have faith, it will happen. A faith without work is dead. Our education system is bad. Our religious affiliations are bad. Be it Islam, be it Christian, all of them, they are dealing falsely because they are doing it for the selfish purpose of some certain people. They are not doing it for the sake of how God wants you to do it. That's why Islam produced terrorists. And now that's why Christianity produced fraudsters in the name of pastor. So it is 50-50. None of them is good for you, for your consumption. You just need to read the book. If you are a Muslim, read the book of Islam. Understand it by yourself. If you are a Christian, read the book. Understand it by yourself. Don't wait for these terrorists and fraudsters to read it for you. Because you will find somebody who is a terrorist, like the man in Nigeria, religious clergy. You know how they are addressing religious clergy. Gumi, religious clergy. He is negotiating with terrorists. He is the one who goes into the bush to see the terrorists, to talk how much they are going to charge people, or how they are going to release their captives. It is a religious pastor. But at the end of the day, they are protecting him. The same way the system is protecting your pastor. This is a fraud that is actually, what do you call it? Gazetted fraud. Fraud with license. That's what the pastors are doing with our people. How can somebody tell you to starve that you will die and see Jesus? Stupidity of you. You starve and die. You will rotten in that shallow grave. You're not seeing anybody. Somebody tell you, open your mouth, I will spray doom, chemical, for killing cockroaches and mosquitoes. You open your mouth, they spray it for you to be delivered. An insult to the Black lives. I'm going to leave it there because it is not part of our curriculum this evening, this morning, and this afternoon. Depending on where you are going to be digesting it from. The most important thing that we got to talk about, it is the Nigeria government admitting that Igbos were asked to come down from the buses in Sudan, says it wasn't deliberate. What is the meaning of it wasn't deliberate? In the thorn of war, people were running helter-skelter. Let me open the news, the story, so that we will read it very well, so that, it is actually... Okay, this I will read from Sahara Reporter. Nigeria government admits that Igbos were asked to come down from buses in Sudan, say it wasn't deliberate. So, let's finish read it, then we will know how indeliberate it is. The government, meanwhile, denied claim that the country's embassy in Khartoum, the capital of war-torn Sudan, refused to evacuate Nigerians who are of Igbo ethnic group. The Nigeria government under President Muhammad Buhari has admitted that some nationals who turned out to be Igbo were asked to come down from the evacuation buses in Sudan. Nothing that the issue had been resolved. The government, meanwhile, denied claim that the country's embassy in Khartoum, the capital city of the war-torn in Sudan, refused to evacuate Nigeria who are of Igbo ethnic group. Sahara Reporter had on Tuesday reported that some stranded Nigeria stranded Nigerians in warring Sudan accused officials of the Nigeria embassy in the evacuation exercise of discriminating against Igbos. Sudan accused Nigeria. This is Sudan accusing Nigeria now. The man in viral video has stated that they were asked to come down from the bus that conveyed other stranded Nigerians from other ethnic groups on Saturday and Sunday to Egypt. The young man in the video had, however, appealed to wealthy Igbo men to come to their aid. However, the Nigeria government denied the allegation, describing the account as false. The spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Francisca Oma Yuli, on Wednesday urged the general public to disregard the allegation. Oma Yuli said that it had investigated the allegation and found it to be false, adding that Igbos were among the first batch of 637 Nigeria evacuated to Aswan border. Now, since this person is denying that something like that didn't happen, I want to see, let me check if I will be able to trace back such video, because if such thing never happened, I don't see the reason why somebody will take a video, and not just took a video in a place where this war was going on. Let me find the video. Unfortunately, I'm going to show you through the phone. Listen, that is the video. If you look at the video, I'm going to still bring it where it will speak. This is the video of the man. These are the luggages of these people that was dropped out of the bus, that was actually discriminated against. These are their luggages. This is the man who took it upon himself to be their spokesperson. He is among them. He was narrating the story of everything that happened, calling on these people that are rich in Igbo ethnic group to come for their rescue. So now you have seen the video of this man. Let us give a voice to such video. Let us give a voice to such video. Listen. Unfortunately, he is speaking in Igbo language. They entered the bus that left earlier. Now, this is it. He said that they were asked to come down from the bus that was actually traveling, the bus that is evacuating people. They were asked to come out of the bus. And now he was calling on the rich people from Igbo extraction to come and for their aid, rather. So this is the lie that the government told to the public, that there is nothing like that. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, whom I mentioned her name here, the Minister of Foreign Affairs to Nigeria, I mentioned her name. Let me mention it again. This was something that happened, but now I believe his name is Omayuli. I believe that this supposed to be in the past now. I believe it should be in the past now, because I believe that those people, they were evacuated after the video was gone viral. Now, it is very, very important that we continue to alert the international communities, African Union, and every stakeholders in the African peace, who are also calling for gun silence in Africa, to know that you guys are calling on gun silence in Africa only when such Sudan things happen. But you will not try to be proactive to prevent this gun noise. Because if you look at it, in the last 50 years, we have been crying of marginalization in Nigeria. In the last 50 years, we've been crying of exclusion, which is marginalization, extrajudicial killing, ethnic cleansing. We've been crying about all these things, calling on every international organization, tweeting, tagging them to come for our aid. But the answer is that they have never, reacted to it. Our people are dying. What happened in Sudan exposed some of the things that is happening in Biafra land. Because our people were asked to come down from the buses. If this video did not come up, nobody will believe it. Unfortunately, the man was speaking in his dialect, because that dialect is the reason why he was asked to come down from the bus. I know that Nigeria government will try to cover it up, do everything to override the argument of the man. But of course, we know what they are capable of. And the reason why we know what they are capable of, I am going to show you another evidence of what they do with some of the properties belonging to Igbos in Lagos. I want to show you this video because Igbos are the target across Nigeria. Do you know why? The only reason why is that Britain wants Igbos to be wiped out because they know our worth. And not only that they know our worth, the Igbos does not want to succumb to the British oligarchy. The Igbos has been people who fight for their freedom, who does not want to be encroached by anybody, who does not want to be dictated by anybody. They want to be free people.
Hey, my sister, good morning. Oh, good morning. See, they have demolished my house. I was in the hospital. They just told me that they have started demolishing our house. They are demolishing the whole street. Oh, they just come and started demolishing. See, they are demolishing everywhere. They are demolishing. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, I could not bring out my property. I could not bring out my documents. They are demolishing everywhere. See. They are demolishing everywhere. Oh, the whole building, the whole house, they are demolishing. Oh, Rossville at Ajawo Estate. Rossville at Ajawo Estate. Oh, they are demolishing everywhere. Rossville Street at Ajawo Estate. See them. Oh, they came with two caterpillars. See them. Demolishing everywhere. I could not bring out anything from my house. Oh. I could not bring anything out. Oh. See. They came with courage. They came with courage. Oh. Demolishing everywhere. Demolishing. Hey, my sister, good morning. Oh, good morning. See, they have demolished my house. I was in the hospital. They just told me that they have started demolishing our house. They are demolishing the whole street. Oh, they just come.
So this is it. It is one of the evidence of how Nigeria government treats the people they are forcing to be under one Nigeria. This is one of the evidence, especially people from the Igbo extraction. Now, I want you to know, this woman says she was in the hospital and she got a phone call that their house is being demolished. Her documents, her properties were still in such building. The land in this place was sold. Everything, and the government watched people develop such area. Government did not actually advise these people or try to stop them. If at all, the land belonged to the government, or the land is not supposed to be a living area. We don't know, but the most important thing is that the government were there when people started building. Where were the government when people started developing such places? But immediately after this selection process, all these things, inflicting pain on our people. inflicting pain on our people. These people, you did not give them employment. You never created job for them. Because even in the job dissemination, it is people are marginalized. They are selecting to who is going to be employed according to their ethnicity. That is how it is. So our people are entrepreneur in nature. So because of the entrepreneurial nature of our people, it is the reason why most of our people, they make it individually. They take advantage of the free market in Nigeria. They make it individually. After suffering all they can, they will make it. They will establish a house such as the one you have seen. Then one day, government will come and say, here will be demolished without a proper compensation. That is the problem. And tomorrow, if such people were given, opportunity to carry arm against this government, do you think they are going to say no? The answer is no. This is how monsters are created in every nation in Africa. But when these monsters are that before they were created, they will be crying for the world to hear their cry, just like I am crying, just like every other Biafrans are crying, for the world to hear our cry, for the world to understand our pain, for African Union to hear and understand our pain, and even ECOWAS to bring us to a round table for talk on how Biafra will emerge as the 53rd country of Africa. So, then maybe I think it's the 16th country of ECOWAS. Now, how do you think you are doing great job as an organization that represents Africa? That you will see we will see people crying, calling on you to aid them before it becomes too late. Everybody will be quiet, but immediately when they start hearing the sound of guns from both sides, that's when they will start preaching gun silent. Gun silent. Is that not hypocrisy of such organization? We are not calling you to come and police Nigeria. We are not calling you to come and dictate for Nigeria. We are calling you to actually speak to Nigeria because you have that mandate to do so. This struggle for self-determination, the fight for self-determination, has been there in the past 5 decades. The war that claimed the life of more than 3.5 million women and children, non-combatants, it never actually taught anybody a lesson because they believe it doesn't concern them. It is not a problem for them to go out there, take their people, and start preaching gun violence, gun silent. That's what they do. Have you now seen how monsters are created in countries? To the extent that you will hate your government, that even if they give you a bomb, suicide bomb, you will go and deliver it and die because you are living for nothing. You don't have anything you are living for anymore because the government will rip you off everything. They will rip you off your dignity. Then what do you have left? You have the only thing you have left is If you are not strong enough, maybe a force will come from somewhere, give you a gun, then you become the enemy of the state. That's how monsters are created across Africa. Now, we Biafrans, we cannot be monster. The fight we are going to fight will be a fight, a just cause. Because what we are fighting now is a just cause. Because if we were monsters, we were supposed to behave like one. Because Nigeria have done things that can trigger us to be monsters. But we are trying to be diplomatic, we are trying to be peaceful, just like we have always been. Just like we were in 1967, when Ojukwu went to negotiate with Gowon, who was the president in Nigeria at that time. Ojukwu went to negotiate in Aburi. They negotiated and come to a resolution of making Nigeria a true federal nation. They negotiated for dissolution, where every place, every regionalism, every region will control their economy, do their things, enact their laws, but pay tax to the center, just like they have in the United States. Then Britain decided to say to Ojukwu, you are going to be a ceremonial president. Because as a black man Ojukwu is, Gowon, they said to Gowon, you are going to be a ceremonial president. If you allow this dissolution to, devolution to happen, you are going to be the ceremonial president. You will have no power. If you allow this country to have a regionalism set up, you will have no more power. And the plan they have put in place to curb or to solve the budget deficit in the north will no longer be effective. That is the reason why they asked Gowon to go contrary to the agreement in Aburi. And Gowon decided to wage war against Biafra. Because after Gowon went contrary to the agreement in Aburi, because he agreed and signed in black and white that there will be regionalism, immediately before he boarded a flight, he received a call and asked him to disagree. And Gowon disagreed. Ojukwu now declared Biafra. Gowon waged war against Biafra, leading to the death of 3.5 million women and children, still counting. That's our cry. That is part of our story. Very, very sad story. And that struggle did not stop, because we know that we were a sovereign nation pre-colonialism. And we want to go back to it, because this feudal system of government that Fulani is running indirectly, claiming it is a democracy, it is killing us. It is killing people who dwell in Nigeria, even though some of them are so scared to speak because they believe they will be killed, not believe they will be killed. And some of them, they have actually, it becomes a norm. Everything that they are doing right now becomes a norm to them. Some of them doesn't know who is to hold to account. They don't know who is to cry to. They don't know who is to call for their aid anymore. Because even the media houses in Nigeria does not educate people, does not even guide people. does not actually give people a voice. Media houses are regulated to do, of course, we know that the mainstream media is always, there are always, being regulated to be one-sided. That is the reason why this man working for CNN was actually sacked. Let me find the name of the man who was sacked from CNN. Do you know why he was sacked from CNN? Because his name is Don Lemon. He was sacked because he talked about slavery. He talked about slavery. That was the reason why he was sacked. He made a documentary. So, after he actually talked about such thing, because maybe he forgot that CNN is a mainstream media that is used by the West to sell their lies and narratives. So he actually did a documentary, I think is a documentary about slavery. That was how this man called Don Lemon got fired. 17 years he has worked for this company. They just fired him like nobody because he talked about things that matters. Things that nobody wants to talk about. So the mainstream media is not created, especially in Nigeria, to give a voice to the oppressed or to give a voice to the ordinary people, because it is supposed to be so, because you are running a democracy according to you. But of course, having seen all the things that is happening, you will know it is rank-cadete system that they are running in Nigeria in the name of democracy. They are running a feudal system of government in Nigeria in the name of democracy, where they manipulate everything, where somebody dictates, where you people will be impoverished, where it is my turn, and it happens. That is the type of democracy they run, where somebody will wake up in the morning and tell you it is my turn. And everybody buy to it. They rig an election to make sure it is his turn. That is it. That is exactly in a country where people are now saying it is now the turn of certain ethnic group, because this ethnic group has been marginalized under democratic dispensation, which is not something that makes sense, but it is actually, people actually rolled with it because such ethnic group has been marginalized, even though in the land of these ethnic groups is where this oil that made Nigeria is coming from. There is no airport in the eastern Nigeria. There is no international airport in the eastern Nigeria. When they build one, they tell you it is a cargo airport. Now, there is no seaport in the eastern Nigeria. There is no embassy in the eastern Nigeria. If you want to travel or tour the world, you must first of all travel to Lagos and Abuja, west or the north, in order to access embassies. our people, our land, we are actually excluded from tourism, from the eyes of tourism. That is the reason why you cannot find international airport, you cannot find seaport, you cannot find embassies. There is nothing that helps a nation to thrive you will find in our land. Yet, the life support machine of Nigeria is in our land. Yet we are being marginalized. We will import goods from outside the country because our people are known for importation and exportation of goods and commodities. That is the reason why they refuse to build seaport where our goods will come to us. They built it in Lagos. That is the reason why many of our people decide to go closer to where the seaport is. In order when they import their goods, they will not have to suffer the transportation in order to bring it maybe 600 kilometers away from where Biafra land is. Have you now seen how systematically they use the system they use to drag all of our people to go and develop Lagos and Abuja, the west and the north? And at the end of the day, they will ostracize these people by demolishing their houses. Have you now seen it is a system that is created to destroy you, to actually to drag you out from where you're supposed to be where you are going to be safe, and bring you to a futuristic threat, because they have created it. They create a threat that is waiting for you in the future, knowing that you will not manage from your land. There is no access to any seaport, international airport, that you don't have access to such things. That is how our people are being treated. You go to our land, there is military checkpoint all over the place. Police is on the road, civil defense is on the road, army is on the road, road safety is on the road, and everybody is on the road collecting bribe from our people. Now for you to see the latest one they did. Of course, each time we come online in the last month, we've been calling on our people to travel back home so that the census will be conducted on our people in their place of origin. Because other states, our people are all over the place because they are looking for survival, searching for survival. Then at the end of the day, when there is census, they will use the number of our people in those places to collect allocation, which is not going to favor any of our people in those areas. Now they put a date for census on the 3rd of May, which is 2 days ago, or which was 2 days ago. On the 3rd of May, when the census was supposed to be carried out, you know what happened? On the 29th of April, because they have seen we called our people and they know that our people listen to our call, they decided to allow our people to go home, because you have to travel on time, because from 29th of April, it is only like 4 days or 3 days, let's call it 3 days left for the census to be counted. Our people are already home for this, waiting for this census to be counted. All of a sudden, a president came online and said the census will be postponed because the plan was for our people to be counted in the north, so that when the northern Nigeria, during the election, the northern Nigeria consensus or whatever they call themselves, we come and tell you that they have the 75% of this population of Nigeria, so that people in Lagos, in the west, will tell you they have more number than people in the east, which all of them are traveling, where they have access to airport, embassies, seaports, where they will be counted there. They will not have number. So that in the time like this obedient movement, they will continue to tell you that the northern people have 75% population. So we wanted to prove them wrong because we were going to be on the ground monitoring this census. Because they will rig it the way they rigged it. They manipulated it in 1963. In 1963, they manipulated the census just for the election rigging and marginalization to continue. That's what they are planning to do this time around. Our people went home to be counted from their place of origin so that we will shock the world, for the world to know that we are more than 60 million. That's what they are so scared of. So they are actually, what they did is to make sure they frustrated the effort of these people. At the last minute, 3 days to census, where people have traveled, you called and said that the census is actually postponed indefinitely. They postponed the census, indefinitely. Why? Because they don't want our people to be counted from where they are from. They want our people to be counted in the land of this Nigeria, so that they will continue to play number game with our people. This is what they do with our people's life. People who travel from Badagry to the east, sometimes they will be on the road for 2 days. Will be on the road for 2 days, traveling from Badagry. The reason why is because there is no good road. It is not like traveling from Badagry to eastern region. It's not like it is more than 600, maybe it's not more than 800 kilometers. And the 800 kilometers is something you run for like 7 hours, if there is a good road. Or if you drive 100 kilometers per hour, maybe you run it 8 hours. So that is exactly these things that we are talking about. People will spend like 2 days or 1.5 days on the road. At the end of the day, you frustrated them because they are Igbos. That's why you kept everything to be far from for their access. They cannot access anything they want at any time because you place it so far from them. There are no branches, nothing. There is nothing that is running in Nigeria that has branches in Biafra land. Nothing. And you call these people that is our representatives. They didn't talk about it. They didn't kick back on it. They never. Your governors, so-called political elites, they did not comment about it or on it. What? Without knowing, because these people are only looking for their pocket. They don't care. They don't care about something that will help their places or their constituencies. They don't care about it. If you look at it, if had it been census was counted on the given date, our people were going to be counted in Biafra land. Our location will be allocated accordingly. And there will be clarity on this number manipulation, vote rigging, election rigging, and malpractices. There will be clarity. That's what Britain and Nigeria are so scared of. And that's why we are calling on African Union to add their voice in this matter. Add their voice to this matter, because we are going to get Biafra. It doesn't matter what it takes. We are going to get Biafra. We are not turning back. We will do everything in humanly possible to make sure we exit Nigeria. Nigeria is a war thorn. Nigeria is a killing machine of her own people. Nigeria is a place where there is no human rights activities, no freedom of speech, no freedom of media. That is Nigeria for you. Nigeria, you don't have access to hospital. The most essential thing everyone's supposed to have access to. Go to Biafra land. You will see how people are dying. How people are dying because they don't know what is wrong with them. They go to hospital, there is no equipment, there is no facilities that can help them. They will even sleep on the floor. They even get more cold in a hospital in Biafra land. If you want to assess maybe if it is a good hospital in Nigeria, maybe if the hospital are ranked according to with stars, you might find it. If you want to find maybe 1-star hospital, you might go to Lagos and Abuja. 1 star. The best hospital in Nigeria is 1-star hospital. Believe me, the best hospital in Nigeria is a public hospital here. Public hospital here. The best hospital, the best private hospital you will find. Nigeria does not have equipment that public hospital have where I am. Why? Because there is nobody who care about you. You are on your own in Nigeria. You die. Malaria has been with you in the last 5 decades. Malaria, or more than 5 decades. Malaria and typhoid has been killing you in the last 30 years. Maybe let me give it 3 decades. More than 3 decades. For me to be politically correct, malaria and typhoid has been killing you in more than 3 decades. No one has said anything. This government, your politicians are not even making any attempt, or even the World Health Organization is not making any attempt, because these are imported diseases. They imported these things to continue. If malaria and typhoid meet a white man from Europe, it's a disaster. But you have been living with it in the more than 3 decades without complaining. That's why when you want to travel from there, you will take a yellow fever. You will take injection so that you will not transport your malaria to their country, because it is actually transmitted through mosquito bite. When a female mosquito bites you, you get malaria. They will hatch their egg and give birth to other mosquitoes. Now, that is the parasite. Malaria parasite. They will, COVID. When you suffer malaria, it's almost like COVID. Because I've had it like twice. And when I was in the zoo, I've had malaria for like all my life. And typhoid. When you suffer COVID, it is almost like malaria. But did you see how it killed people in the Western world? And now, did you wonder why COVID didn't kill you too much in Nigeria? Do you know why? Because your body is immune to such symptoms of COVID. Your body is already immune to such symptoms. That's why it never bothered you, because it is more like malaria. You treat it, night fever. You'll be sweating in the night. You will be having fever. You will be having maybe sore throat. You will have headache. You will have body aches. It is the same symptoms. So, at the end of the day, you've been living with this more than 3 decades. The World Health Organization has never built anything to eradicate malaria, which is also supposed to be, because it doesn't disturb them. The reason why they did so quick with COVID, it is killing too much. It killed them. That's why they decided to introduce something that will destroy, that will stop it. But malaria, it is only suffering those mostly in sub-Saharan, Sahel fire. They are being troubled. If malaria was in Europe and America, Malaria was supposed to be eradicated long time ago. That is, I will not blame them. I won't blame them because I will blame our leaders in Africa. I will blame our politicians because I will blame our education system. I will blame our religious system. These are the things that I am blaming, because you will be praying that God will heal you from mosquito, including the doctors, researchers. They will be praying that God will heal you with mosquito once you drink chloroquine. These are the people who went to school, who's supposed to even invent something that will cure malaria, eradicate malaria, because you studied the same thing that white guy working for CDC in the United States. You studied the same course that they studied. So why aren't you making use of yours? I blame you. I don't blame them. Their job is to just import this sickness and give it to you. Your job is to kick back. That is part of the politics that the world is playing with us. They block every access that we will use to assess something that will eradicate all these pains that they're inflicting on us. They block it, and they select those who does not have political will to actually make sure that they work for you, or they make sure that you get your fair share. Because the more these people are exploiting you, they are the willing tools in the hands of the master, in the hands of those who are oppressing you. Now we send a message to the upcoming coronation. The Prince of England, the King of England, Prince Charles III, or King Charles III. Of course, South Africa is calling on Prince Charles III to return their gold, their diamond, rather. Let me read that news. I found this link somewhere. Where is it? I found this link, and I believe it is the little they could do, returning this property that does not belong to them. Because as long as they are still in possession of a stolen goods, they are criminal. It is a criminal that stays in possession of stolen goods. Okay, South Africa called for return of diamond used in British crown since 1907. Since 1907. And that is the best thing Britain could do, or this prince, for his restitution and retribution. Very, very important. To return those whom you have kept in captivity to freedom. That is the reason why I'm talking about this pre your coronation. They should actually make peace with the world by allowing their colonies to breathe. Because the colonies of these people cannot breathe. Return the stolen goods to South Africa. Allow countries in Africa, whom are your colony in the past, maybe centuries, to breathe. Break this barrier of hatred, because there will be a time you people are going to stand alone in this world. The only thing that is constant in life is change. The transitioning of power from late your mother, Queen Elizabeth, to you, supposed to be bring peace to the world. If you are a wise king, because the world has woken up. The world is no longer blind the way you projected it to be the last 400 years, 4 centuries ago. The world is no longer blind as it used to be. So it is up to you now to make peace with the world. Help those you have hurt to heal. Relinquish all these stolen goods that is at your disposal. Send it back to the rightful owners. Beg us for forgiveness, we will forgive you. If you are, sincere about it. Because you might be thinking it does not matter, it does not matter. It does not matter, matters a lot. Now people are even calling and praying for de-dollarization. People are even trying to support any nation that will dethrone America and Europe. It is because of the enmities that you have created. And it is now very important for you to make peace for the sake of these children that you have given birth to, or for the sake of England, Britain. You call for peace and stop this neo-slavery. Stop this neo-colonialism. Those structures that you people implemented in Africa that have people killed, have people, become monsters, have people start killing themselves. It is time for the abolishment of such principles. Otherwise, you will not make a great king, because it is an era. The era of Queen Elizabeth was it was good. It was a better era because people did not wake up as they have woken up today. So it is that time you need to make peace with the world while you can. While you can. Africa, we are forgiving people. We are peace-loving people. Of course, you people knows that. But we are human beings as well. We have feelings. So, through your coronation, tomorrow, Saturday, the 6th of May, it is very important for you to recognize all the atrocities your ancestors and you, because you are part of it, you are old enough, did against our people, against Africa at large. Take yourself back to the memory lane. Recall all the activities, both the one you experienced being done on our people, on our forefathers, even when you were young. Recall them. Recall those moments that you people were exploiting diamonds, craft from Nigeria to South Africa, from Biafra land to Benin Kingdom, from Zululand to other ethnic group in South Africa, the war of the Boers. Recall all those things that you people have committed in Africa. Put them together, apologize, return those stolen goods to make you a free people. Destroy those structures, because the people you enslaved and caged in such structures, they have woken up. And if you don't make peace with them, I believe that it will not be long enough. They will align with your enemies, and you will have nowhere to align yourself. It is a prophecy. Future prophecy, and not a very long term future. It is the future that we are living in right now. All this politics that Britain has been playing with the world, it is time to abolish it. Let us have a world where when every man will be equal in the eyes of the Lord. Let us have such world. And I know you can do it. You can undo some things. I know you cannot undo all, because people have died. But you can do and amend some certain things if you want. But if you do not want, God in heaven is watching. God in heaven is watching. But the most important thing and the things that we are not going to go back on is actualization and restoration of our dignity. Biafra. It is Biafra or nothing. That is something we are not going to go back from. Whether we have British oligarchy on our side, it will not stop us. It will not stop us. We are going to go to the ways of our ancestors. We had, or we still have, because they are still our ancestors, whether they exist or not, or they are still our ancestors. We had good ancestors, likewise we had bad ancestors. For the sake of the good ones, who were very God-fearing, we want to go back to that ways in which they used to worship their God, in which they were free to do their worship. We want to go back and make sure we remember our names. We want to relinquish of ourselves such names that was given to us that is not ours. Just as I am calling on you to relinquish all these stolen goods and properties that you have of Africa and destroy your oligarchy in Africa to allow Africa to breathe. We want to restore our name, our original name, not the name given to us in the name of baptism. Just like Nigeria was baptized, from now henceforth you become Nigeria. We don't want to answer what you give to us. We want to answer what God gave to us. We want to trace back to start doing the ways of our ancestors. We know that so many of them, they derailed, which is some of them what we are suffering for today. But the good ones, we are going back to their ways. Nothing is going to stop us. It is very, very important. Let me remind you, Christ is my ancestors. According to the book of Hebrews 7:14, you go and get my own origin from Genesis 46 verse 16. Then you contextualize it with Jeremiah 14 verse 2. That's how you will know Jesus is my ancestor. Not Jesus, Christ, rather. Correct me there. Christ is my ancestor. Jesus is King Charles' ancestor. It's not mine. And it has nothing to do with me. The white guy with blue eyes is King Charles' ancestors, not mine. My ancestor is the original Christ, who died to protect the law. He is not noticed today because they did addendum to his name, Jesus Christ. His name is Christ. His name is Yeshua. It is very, very important that you do the right thing while you can. I don't know that you are also old. Build a legacy for your upcoming generation, because the world is awoken. The consciousness of a black man is now awoken. That's why you hear African leaders kicking back against your policies, trying to embrace China. China will tell them, if you have oil, sell it cheap, cheap. I build your railway, I build your road. That is a better business than you coming to steal this oil, upon that creating a system that kill people who live in it, who owns it. It has been there for the last 400 years. After the invasion of the Arabs to Africa, you people work on our mind to the extent that sometimes I think and I believe there is a, bio weapon that you people use on our people. But at the end of the day, we only find out it is brainwashing. You still have a chance to correct it. Return the diamond. Start from there. Free people from your, neocolonialism, and live and let live. For us to have a better world that God created and say we should go out there and multiply. I pledge to King Charles III. It is very, very important. Now, going back also to the next thing that we have this time, let me use these opportunities also to talk about Ike Ekweremadu's ordeal. Of course, so many of us are aware that Ike Ekweremadu is of a Biafra extraction. I want to know, in all the atrocities that has been committed, let's just start from the recent one before we actually think of going down to the memory lane. The so-called Nigeria president-elect was indicted for drug trafficking in the United States. He forfeited his money. Was he tried? The answer is no. So, and he has been traveling to the West. He has been traveling to USA. He has been traveling to Europe. He was not seen as a fugitive. He was not seen as a criminal. Now Ike Ekweremadu went to London to go and do organ harvesting, which is one thing that Nigeria government and Nigeria police, who are their ground soldiers that harvest this organ, bring people that their organ need to be harvested. He went to UK to do the organ harvesting normally, how they normally do it, because they don't have a good hospital that could do his own. His own case is a special case. He has to travel to the land of his colonial master to conduct this organ harvesting and organ, transplant to his child. The same man was captured, tried, imprisoned. One gave him 9 years or 10 years in prison. Gave the wife 7 years imprisonment. And everywhere is silent in Nigeria. No politician who is being partner in crime is talking about it. Why? Because the crime of Biafra people are the crime that are recognized, while the crime of Fulani, the crime of Yoruba, they are not recognized. They are not to be tried. Because these are the people who are building on this surface called British oligarchy. That is the reason why they will not catch anybody. Of course, British are the people in the USA. They do the same thing. If Tinubu could do drug trafficking in the United States, forfeit his money and go for free, I don't have a problem with the Ekweremadu's ordeal, because the young man could die. The young man they wanted to harvest his organ could die on the process. Now, and Ekweremadu will not care less. All he wants is to save his child, because he's selfish. Now, all I am asking is for to treat everybody equally. Where is this? There is a lot of missing needle in your judgment. Why don't you start with the war crime also committed on our people? More than 3.5 million women and children died in the battle. Why is Gowon moving freely? Why is Buhari moving freely? Why is Obasanjo moving freely? Why is all these major generals moving freely after committing a war crime? Yet you have the God to call South Africa to arrest Putin. Have you seen now that you people are unjust in your judgment? Fulani will commit heinous crime. They go for free. Nobody is going to attack them, arrest them, disturb them. They go to medical checkup all their life. Even while in power, they go there, they come home. No one is disturbing them. But I believe for a mother, you people use a cop to give him his number, 10 years. It's not bad for his crime. I support the law. I support what you did. You did a great job. But if you can extend this job and do it to all Nigeria criminals, all these politicians that are criminal, from the west to the north, from the north to the east, all of them, balance it. It will be much appreciated. This is the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will always tell all these politicians, greedy dogs that doesn't get enough, serve the zoo and come back in shame. That's why he always says it to them. They don't understand. And it will happen to them. Wike's turn is coming. You see Wike? Wike's turn is coming. Of course, Wike want to shut down Port Harcourt for the sake of the visit of President-elect. Oh. Exactly. Marcel OJ. Had it been Ekweremadu was fighting for Biafra freedom, I don't believe Ekweremadu will get himself in trouble like this. He couldn't support his own people. Just like now we are calling on Pito, where you are going, there is no road there. We told you pre-election that where you are going, there is no road there, Pito. You keep going, you keep going. But one day, Pito, anya no ka ihe anya no holo. Magwacha ndị Enugu State. Ashiga anya no ka ihe anya no holo. Ịgbadatazia na Anambra osigi na anya gafu ife anya afuru. That is the way it is. Where you are going, P2B, there is no road there. We told you pre-election that these people will deprive you of your mandate. You will win the election with high margin. They will make sure they change the number. They will not give it to you. It happened. But the advice I am giving you now is to make sure you don't try to sweet talk people to forget and wait for another 4 years. It is not a good thing if you do it, because we don't take no for an answer. It's either you fight them hands down, let them give you your mandate, or you now tell people the secret of the zoo. Tell everyone who live in Nigeria the secret of the politics they playing in Nigeria. You speak the truth and shame the enemy. It is two things involved. And you stand a position to achieve these two things. Either they give you the election that you won with high margin, which they have relegated you to the third position, or you expose the secret in Nigeria. One of these secrets is what I am going to show you right now. Let me show you this. Listen. Pay attention. Pay very good attention. Let's check this out.
Retirement is disturbed at his hometown in Daura, Katsina State. Buhari stated this during a banquet organized for him by the Federal Capital Territory residents led by the minister, Mohammed Bello, during a Salah celebration now. Mohammed Bello, he also thanked Nigerians for tolerating him. The president said he is from the extreme corner of Nigeria, Daura in Katsina State, which is just 8 kilometers from the Niger Republic. Chairman Middle Belt Forum, Dr. Bitrus Pogus, joins us to react to the Buhari statement on retiring to Niger Republic. I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. First of all, just to open up the discussions here today, what do you make of this news? Do you think people are just making a mountain out of a molehill by saying that Buhari deciding to retire to Niger Republic is a big deal?
It's a lie.
Oh, it's a big deal. I mean, the first citizen of Nigeria who would have served Nigeria for 8 years, given the best kind of protection, being the president, somebody Nigeria has invested in, to say after retirement or after leaving office, if people should disturb him, he will relocate. It's very sad. It meant that he was never committed to this country in the first place. Otherwise, this is a...
Now, have you now seen what we talked about 2 days ago? We were talking about him trying to run away to Daura. Now another one has come up that he can even extend it to Niger Republic. Why is the president emeritus running? Why is he trying to escape? Why he don't tell us he is going to go to Sudan? He's supposed to go to Sudan. Remember that he even... there is a rumor that he sent military to go for peacekeeping in Sudan, when Boko Haram is ransacking the northern Nigeria. Jubril of Sudan. Of course, he cannot go to Sudan. There is a... South Sudan. Maybe he is from that area, South Sudan. There is a problem happening there. So, or maybe from Niger Republic now, he will make his way to Sudan, to his place. Why is a Nigeria president emeritus to go? In fact, he is already, according to the story, we are talking about future tense. Future tense. So why is Nigeria president retiring in another country? From his village to another country? Because he does not want to be wearing this mask anymore. 216 million and more people are being fooled by few thousands of people. including Nigerian military and their police, they are not up to 500,000. And their leaders, they are not up to 500,000. Not even up to 1%. They're not up to 1% of Nigeria population. But these people, they have put you in a position where they will be feeding you with lies and manipulation, lies and deceit. They have marked somebody to rule over you for 4 years, complete 4 years. Now, Chokwili to Boso, he want to come down from the high horse and run away. You people are taking it lightly. So that's why I'm telling Obi, this is where you will stop. When he run, call him, do a DNA test. We must do a DNA test on that man before he run. Then if it's not Buhari, whoever that is involved, that person must be hanged. Because that's what they should be deserving. He wants to run away from it. Because he knows once he go leave office, he does not have that immunity anymore. Of carrying maybe how many soldiers he want to travel with. Why does he want to run to Sudan? Niger Republic. Have you now seen the reason why he used the money he's supposed to build hospital, schools for your children? He used it and go and buy vehicle for Niger Republic. Have you now seen what is going on? Lies and deceit. That is what you see in Nigeria. They run a rank-cadede system. That is what you are seeing right now. Why would a president run when his nation is supposed to appreciate him and protect him as a president emeritus who governed the country into poverty, governed the country into terrorism, even terrorists are kidnapping, taking ransom, govern the country to the extent there is a new money printed, dissemination of this money becomes a problem. People were deprived access to their money. When they were given access to their money, there was no interest given. Why? It is very sad. So Peter Obi, for your own good, it is very important that you don't play this, because these people, they are not ready. Even if a court now say you win, people like Malami will fight it. I can assure you, they will fight it. They are abusing their power. Because the plan is that they want to use Buhari in order to get to that Islamization agenda that they are planning in Nigeria. That's why they strengthened the Iranian relationship with Nigeria. They strengthened Turkey relationship with Nigeria. Erdogan was indicted that he supplied Boko Haram weapon, according to CBN News. The evidence is there. The news carried it. So, what do you think is going to be your fate? Because it will not be more than up to 2 years. So, the old man, Emilokon, except if they will start wearing him mask. But I doubt they will do so, because the man that his tie reaches his leg is the one that they are reserving such seats for. So, Peter Obi, if you don't do the needful, you see these people who are following you, they will be your biggest enemy. I will leave it here. Yoruba people call for their language to be protected. Why Yoruba language must be protected? This is where we are right now. Why Yoruba language must be protected. This is where we are right now. It is a good call. It is a good move. This is how people protect their interest. Of course, so many of you believe I brought it here to come and cajole it, or to come and say something against it. These are people who understand what their good norms and value system is. It is not about people who want to follow the colonialist way. Anything they introduce to you, you answer. If they call you another name that is not yours, you answer. It's fine. If it's the one you will remember, you answer. No. He is calling for their language to be protected. Their language must not die, of which even our own language is dying off. Because the parents of these days, even, of course, we that have misbreed, or like, if I call it misbreed, maybe it's an insult. Let me not use it. Mixed blood. That most of the time they spend time with their mom. They speak to them in the language. Since we are always on the move, at least you might pardon us a little bit. Little bit, not pardon us. Don't pardon us, because we must put an effort to make sure I am part of these categories. It is not an excuse. There is nothing to use as an excuse. Because it will even make me, most of the time, every time you will be speaking English in the house, you will even start forgetting your own language. It happens. So, it is very, very important that those our people, you have a child. Instead of teaching your child, calling your child by his name, you will be calling them English name. You will be teaching them English. In Nigeria, in Biafra land, you will be speaking to your child in English. In Biafra land, who is going to teach that your child your language? If you are speaking to them in English, what is English going to take them? So many of you will notice that most of the time when I talk, or some of the time when I talk English. Some of the time when I talk, things that are supposed to be past tense, I put it present. Things that are supposed to be present, I put it past tense. And I don't care. It is not as if I want to concentrate and speak it good, perfect, I can. But it doesn't bother me. As long as I'm communicating, it is not my language. I don't need to be perfecting another man's language. We are speaking it for the sake of communication. That's actually the reason why I am using it. Because we are sending messages to international community, to people our own people who cannot even understand the language anymore. That is the reason why we try all our best to speak it in English. English is not our mother tongue. English is not the level of your education. English is the language of the oppressor. And because we are the oppressed and conquered people, we use English to, we actually measure the level of our knowledge with English speaking. And that is the reason why Wole Soyinka was given a renowned professor, a renowned literature writer. Because of he speak good English. What will this good English do for the society? The answer is absolutely nothing. Russian president, if he eventually go to South Africa, they will need an interpreter. True or false? A president too. But to you want to measure the amount of mistakes I make in my English speaking, or my vocabulary. You want to measure the amount of mistake I make. And now you go home, you will be speaking to your child in English. God forbid. And you will be believing that this is a good thing you are doing to that child. That child will still go to school, learn English. Why then? Why can't you teach such children in your language? What happened to your language? Is it now an abomination for you to protect your language? It has become an abomination. No, our people need to wake up from their slumber. This insult is too much. You are undermining whom you are. That is the reason why I appreciate this young lady who comes and teach Igbo language to our people. That beautiful young lady who teach our people. She should keep it up. She's doing a wonderful job. Our language cannot die. We are enslaved. That is the mind of a conquered nation. They have come and told you that you must have an English name in the name of baptism. The same way they have taken away your sovereignty and they give you a baptism name in the name of Nigeria. There are many things that you need to contextualize to the things that you are fighting to understand that they have things in common. Changing your name. So making it easy for a white man to pronounce it. For a white man to own you. You are killing our language. I applaud that Yoruba, I don't know whom he is. That is how to protect the interest of a particular nation. Protect your language. Language is power. Language is power. Those who think that they are doing their children a favor in the Biafra land. You have children, you are calling them English name instead of calling them their own name. You have a Biafra wife. You are a Biafra husband. Two of you will gather together teaching your child in English. What the meaning of that? Once an eloko osi na ona ara mmanu. Once an eloko osi na ona ara mmanu. This is the advice you people supposed to be giving us who have missed blood as children. I am not exempted in this advice that I'm giving to you. It is my responsibility also. And I am trying right now my best to make sure that my children learn my language. I am teaching them my culture, making sure that they keep my culture. Language is something that I am finding it difficult because at some point I used to tell myself how much I hate Nigeria as a nation that, we are portrayed to come from. I said to myself, and I even said to my friend, I said to him, why am I teaching my child my language so that when he go to any airport and speak English, when they hear his accent, they will deny him visa, or any embassy. When they hear his accent, they will deny him visa because they will see him as a criminal in Nigeria. It happened to me. I had such thought at some point. I believe it is a setback. So upon that, I am calling on our people, please teach your children the language where you come from. Language is power. Language is power. It is very, very important as we continue to thrive in this self-determination that we have embarked upon. And I believe that one day we are going to emerge as a nation. As we continue to do the right thing, as we continue to call on the world organizations, we are not scared of change. So many people, the problem of a black man, they are scared of transition. They are scared of change. So scared. I know so many people are actually asking, what will Russia relationship with Africa be like? What will China relationship with Africa be like? Because you are already comfortable with the exploitation of the West. What it is going to be like is that you are going into such relationship with your consciousness awoken. It is not like the one you went into blindly, which is the West. If you have a relationship with Russia, well, even if United States have hundreds of businesses in your place, believe you me, at the end of the day, if they decide they want to pull out from the business, they are losing. They are losing. Business is buying and selling. If you pull out because I did what my, in fact, it is foreign policy. You do what that will benefit your country. What is in the interest of the people of your country and your country. You can't establish a business and tell me it is a US business. They are coming to Africa, bullying people, bullying the workers who work for them. You cannot tell me such. No. You are not saving people. You are destroying them, wasting their time. So if because you align with China and Russia, and they decided to threaten you with the business that they have in your country, don't mind them. If they want to pull it out, let them pull it out at their own what? Peril, at their own expense. That the fact that they have business in your place does not mean that you cannot transition. You cannot make use of your foreign policy. Making sure that you align with things that is beneficial to you and your people of the nation that you preside over. Very, very important. This type of relationship that you have with the people of the West, it is no longer you. It will never favor you. It will never favor you. It is symbiotic. You are not benefiting anything. They are benefiting from you. Then you are now fighting amongst yourself, killing yourself for the small one the leftover they give you. Why is it so? Why? They instigate war all over, across the walls of Africa. The same people. Why is it so? Then they will call you ceasefire. Ceasefire. Just like they are instigating war in Nigeria right now. I know so many of you do not know. They are instigating war in Nigeria right now. That is the reason why when we are calling for international community to see the crime committed against Biafra people, the crime, the marginalization, the evil treatment being done against our people, they will not pay attention to it because they know it will come to the level where you cannot take it no more. But I don't blame them. It is in your hands to say enough is enough. It is in your hands to say I am saturated. It is in your hands to make that decision, to say enough is enough. I am going to take my destiny by myself, by force. Then you stand up and defend and fight and protect what is going to make you a better human being. What is going to give you a fresh oxygen. You fight and you achieve it. That is very important. There is the journey of 1,000 miles. Starts with one step. And that step, we have walked the walk. We are walking the walk. We are doing the talking. We are doing the negotiation. We are doing the alignment. we are actually calling for support so that we will leave Nigeria in peace and have mutual relationship, understanding, open border policy. We will have such relationship, bilateral, multilateral relationship. We will have even unilateral relationship. We will have all those relationships with the nations around us. Because we cannot go anywhere without having our territorial integrity. We need our territorial integrity. We need to make use of the resources God gave to us. We don't need to be, we need to make use of it. Make a finished product with it, from it. From the finished product, we now sell it the price that it should be sold. We cannot be taking our gold, if you have one, or cocoa, or cola nut, and you use it, go and sell it for penny, pittance, and they will use it to do a finished product. They bring it back, sell it millions to you. Just like they are doing now in Congo. Cobalt is used to manufacture many things, including batteries for even these electric cars. Cobalt stone is like a stone. If they carry it, you will believe it's a stone. It's cobalt. It can be used to even manufacture aluminium. There are many things that thing could do. And that thing is in many countries in Africa. Uranium is in Nigeria. Uranium. And I believe it's in northern Nigeria. That's why this Boko Haram is making sure they cover this territory. It is not only gold that is found there. It is not only gold. There is a lot of resources in the north. It is very important for our people to understand that the only thing that will make you to thrive or make you bring a growth, national growth for you, is if we have our territorial integrity. Forget these politicians, they are not going to do anything for you. They are fighting. At the end of the day, they waste your time. I am telling you, Peter Obi might be having evidence, have everything he's supposed to have, but will the court give it to him? The answer is no. Did the court not release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Where is he today? The answer is still in solitary confinement. So why do you think you, Peter Obi, that court will work in your favor? Court will not work in your favor. Court does not work in the favor of Biafrans. Biafrans are on their own. It's just that if you want to be their stooge, to be killing your people, just like Hope Uzodimma. Hope Uzodimma that is killing our people. If ICC did not jail Hope Uzodimma, our people will kill Hope Uzodimma by hanging with his atrocities. Likewise, Nwike, if ICC did not take up the case of Nwike for massacring people in Obibu, time will come. He will be captured. These people, they have committed atrocities. Massacred thousands of people in 2020 and pretend that everything is all right. You want to shut down the country because they have selected a president. Oh. God knows that if he can give me his power for a minute, if God can give me some power that he possesses for a minute, I'm telling you, all these so-called elites, I will cast them into prison. All of them. Cast them into prison. I wouldn't be brutal like that. They will be judged. They will be tried. If found guilty, I will kill them by hanging. If God will give me their small power, because all of them, they are bloodthirsty, evil people. Just like the report that is still coming from Nimo in Anambra State. Their Igwe or Owele is selling their land, taking Fulanese to some girls' secondary school. I don't know. The news I had this today again is that he brought Fulanese to. There is a secondary school, girls' secondary school that the person talked about. I can't remember it. He said that there is too much Fulanese in that area. So, Igwe Nimo, leadership need to look into the activities of that guy, because it looks like that guy is biting more than he can chew in Biafra land. These are the type of people who will start enforcing teaching of Arabs or Quran in Arab in our land. These are the type of people that can do that. By he is selling our land to Fulanese. It must be his activities must be looked into. So great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I am going to be descending. I am going to leave it here. Asị onye mara asụ, ya sụọ n'ikwe. Onye amakwa na asụ, ya sụọ sụjie mkpụrụ ụkwụ ya. Mbọsị nta ka anyị chụọ n'Owere nchi. It is very, very important. Biafra must come in this our lifetime. It is Biafra or nothing. Until we meet again, stay safe and stay informed. Share the video. Invite others to join.